So congratulations to any of you that have taken delivery of a Tesla Model Y. It is a fantastic car. Just took delivery of our second one here and can't say enough great things about it. Now, in this time we are living, Tesla is currently trying to do contactless deliveries, and I've been getting a lot of people asking questions. What does everything on this center screen do, and can you explain it to me? Well, we're going to do a complete walkthrough, and this will kind of act as like your delivery orientation that Tesla used to use. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, if you do have a Model 3, this will be very similar. And now if you have a Model S or X, there will be some of these aspects that will coincide with those cars, but there are some other differences. So if you would like to see a Model S or X overview, definitely drop that in the comment section below and we will go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead and dive right in. So here we are in the beautiful Tesla Model Y. Now, as you might be able to tell, there's a lot of glare coming from this screen. So I'm going to fix that real quick before we continue with a matte screen protector from Abstract Ocean. Okay, much better. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, when you first get your key here, it'll actually be wrapped up similar to this, and in here you will actually have 2 key cards. And these are actually what you can use to open your Tesla. I recommend keeping one of these maybe in your wallet or something just in case. Real quick, let's show you the door handles. So with the car lock, not only can you use your phone to unlock it, but you can also use the Tesla key cards which are in here. And we can just touch them right here and it will actually unlock. And then to lock, you can touch it right there again. Now, these door handles tend to scare a few people away. Don't be scared, they're actually really awesome. Just go ahead and use your thumb, push it in, it'll pop this out and you can grab it with your hand, pull it, and just like that, you're in. So once you are actually in the car, here you have an overview of your car. You can open your trunk, your frunk, your charging port right here. Here you have some quick control access. You have your backup camera, which you can see right here. You have your charging screen, as well as your voice commands. And then here you do actually have your windshield wiper control. I always like to turn that on to auto, and it works beautifully. If you ever want to do any other speed, you can do that right there. And then going the other direction will actually show you all your odometer and everything, and basically how long you've been driving and your average watt hours per mile. And all this goes in here. You can actually rename them and everything. Now going the other direction will actually show you your tire pressure. Now you need to drive for roughly 60 seconds before these will auto-populate every time. So just keep that in mind. When you are in park, you won't see anything there. That kind of covers this side. And here, obviously, you have your battery. Right now it's on percentage, but we'll show you, you can change that to distance. Up here, you have park and everything. And it's where, like, if you put your foot on the brake, it will show you park, reverse, neutral, drive, headlights, all that stuff. And here you can see when you put your foot on the brake and the key there, you have park, reverse, neutral, drive. Then up here you have your lock button. So touching that will lock the car, touching again will unlock. You have your time, your outside temperature, your Tesla T here. Clicking on that will actually show you about your car. You can name it, have fun with it. You have your mileage, your VIN, and what current update you're on. You can see your release notes as well as your owner's manual. And should you ever need Tesla roadside assistance, you have it right there. And you can just go ahead and click on that once you have a phone connected and it will automatically call them. Next up, you have your profiles, which we'll get into in a little bit. You have your update. So currently that little yellow icon means I have an update to go ahead and connect to Wi-Fi and it will start downloading it. Next up, you have your Sentry mode. So right there, it's on and off. You can toggle it. Red is on. Next up, you have your LTE. When you get home, definitely click on that and add it to your home Wi-Fi. As you can see here, you have to connect to Wi-Fi to download the update. So connecting to your home Wi-Fi is going to get you that update as soon as possible. Next up, you have the Bluetooth button. This is where you can add your phone, etc. for like music and calls and all that. And then you have your passenger airbag, and that will turn on if it senses somebody is in that seat. Here you have all your navigation. You can go ahead and click that. Definitely set a home and work. That will really help out with some of the other settings coming up. So down along the bottom here, you can see several different options. Here is going to be your main menu. This is going to be where you're going to pretty much do everything. Next up, you have music. I haven't even done anything in here yet, but you can see you have your radio, phone, streaming, car karaoke, Spotify, TuneIn, settings. This I tend to do like a giant V. I find that to be pretty nice. So we'll leave it at that. Balance, you can change that anywhere in the car. And options, I like to go high for immersive. Streaming content, I don't prefer DJ commentary. That's really up to you. If you want to do explicit content or disable it, that's right there. And allow mobile control will allow somebody in the back with the app to be able to manipulate the music and change it to what they want. Next up, we have here, you can call, calendar, camera, energy graph, charging, web browser, entertainment, and toy box. So entertainment and toy box are probably going to be the most popular. You have all these games as well as all these you can enjoy only when in park. And then toy box, you have all kinds of fun Easter eggs. So the toy box is now going to be where your Easter eggs are located. Web browser, all that. So that's the other way to get to the charging screen. Not only do you have that button, you also have it here. I would just use this because it's always up. So in your charging screen here, you can actually open your charge port up top here, which you can also do right here. You can go ahead and set your charging limit to wherever you need to be. I normally keep mine at 80, but anywhere probably between like 60, 70, 80, or 90 is best. Only go 100 if you're actively gonna start driving right when you are done charging. You can adjust your current per location. It's geolocation right there, which is great. Your scheduled departure, if you want, you can schedule that. Now, for me, I actually use scheduled charging, so I tell it when to start charging, so that way I can make sure I'm not charging at peak rates or anything like that. I charge off peak when it's a lot cheaper. So here I just plugged in real quick so we can show you. I start charging at 5:15 every day, but if you want to schedule it, you can do it here. You can turn it off, so anytime you plug in, you will immediately start charging, which it just did. Scheduled charging, I start charging at 5:15 a.m. and then depart at will actually make it so at 8 a.m. I will be up to 80% charge or whatever you have it set at. Now on here, you can make it so that it's all week or only on weekdays. So if you don't leave that early on weekends, you can make it like that. And you can also have it precondition your cabin. So if you're charging outside, or maybe it's during the winter and you want to make sure that your cabin isn't cold or isn't too warm when you leave, that's kind of nice. But I prefer just to do start charging at. Luckily, I park in a garage where it's pretty well temperature controlled, so I don't really have to worry about preconditioning too much. Other great things on here, energy, like if you are on a road trip and you have an address and you're navigating it to it, it'll actually tell you your predicted energy consumption and it will adjust as you drive. But here you can see my driving in the past 30 miles, which you can change. You can do instant range, average range, really all up to you here. It's kind of a nice feature. You can do your camera here, but you also have that quick control. Calendar once you sync your phone, and then also same with calling. Next up, you're going to have your heated seat for your driver, heated seat for passenger, and then to turn on your AC, you can just click that. And then one click will actually close it. To turn it off without reopening it, you can long press and see that little halo expand, and that will auto turn it off. Now, when you're in here, I would just suggest auto. You have all your dog mode and everything like that. But you also have heated seats. This is where you can turn them on, turn them all off, kind of nice. But you can also do the heated seats in the app, and obviously your temperature adjustment. Now, if you would like, you can go ahead and click on this and then unsync them, and driver and passenger can each have their own zones if you wish. Next up, you then have your front defroster, your rear defroster, and your volume control, which is also be able to control from your left scroll wheel. So real quick, before we jump in here, let's go ahead and set up our profile. So we're gonna create a driver profile. It is me, Eric. We're gonna go ahead and create that profile. So you're gonna wanna click on mirrors, and then I'm going to use this left scroll wheel here and go ahead and manipulate that mirror to where I like it. And then I'll go ahead and click here and then manipulate the right mirror to where I like it. Using the scroll wheel, of course, you can adjust your mirror auto tilt and auto fold, both of which I absolutely love. Auto tilt will tilt your mirror when you're in reverse. Auto fold will fold in your mirrors once you're in park. Next up, we'll adjust the steering wheel. And again, you're gonna wanna use this left scroll wheel to go up, down, and in and out. So we're just gonna go ahead and hit save, and we are there. Now, using easy entry will actually move the seat all the way back and down, and the wheel all the way in and up to allow the easiest way to get in and out of the car. So if you want that, you can certainly click that. And then just add whatever drivers you wish. So now that we have created our driver profile, let's jump right into the quick controls, which is our first item here. So here you have your exterior lights. You can turn them off, parking on, or auto. Again, I just leave mine in auto and let the car decide from there. You can turn your front fog lights on if you wish to have those. And if you ever need to make adjustments to your mirrors or your steering wheel, you can do that right here, as well as manually fold in your mirrors. You can make it so that it always fold mirrors at this location, which will geolocation this point. So that's actually kind of a nice feature if you have a really tight garage and you always want them folded before going in. Here's where you do have your window lock for the rear windows for like child lock, and your display brightness. I always leave mine on auto, but you're more than welcome to adjust it however you wish. Next up, we have lights. So headlights, again, those are on the quick controls, but also here. But here you have a little bit more that you can play around with, like your dome lights. I like to keep those on auto, so when I open the door, it turns those on. Really helpful at night. And your ambient lights right here are gonna be like your footwell lights. I do keep on auto high beams. Now, I don't keep headlights on after exit, but if you live in like an apartment or park in front of your house, that's not a bad option to keep on. I believe it keeps your headlights on for an additional 60 seconds after you close your car so that you can be able to get into your house or whatever and still have some light. Steering wheel lights are the little angles on the left and right scroll wheel. Those are kind of nice, especially at night. Here you have locks. You can see we have our 2 key cards set up. We're gonna go ahead and set up our phone here. So to set up your phone, you're gonna wanna go into your app and have your key cards ready. It's super easy to do. All you do is click on here, set your phone as key, hit start. It is now searching and says hold your key card to the center console, which we just did. And now here we are. We are done. So easy to do. And that will make it, when we walk up to the car and everything, we can use just our phone rather than have to use the key card. And again, we also have the window lock here, as well as the quick controls and child lock that will lock the rear doors so they can only be opened from the outside, not the inside. Then you have unlock on park, so when you put your car in park, it will unlock the car. That's nice to have. Lock confirmation sound. Some people do this if they want that extra confirmation that they locked their car. However, I tend to keep that off. Since I have the auto fold mirrors on, when my car is locked, those will fold in. And walk away door lock, that is something I always keep on. Basically, when I walk away from the car and it loses connection with the cell phone, it will lock the doors. Display, again, some of these are going to be the same as the quick controls, but you have, you can change it from day to night, which is your like dark or black mode or auto. I tend to keep auto on, as well as the brightness. Screen clean mode is super handy if you want to wipe down your screen and not press a bunch of buttons or anything like that. You can do this, wipe it down, and then just press this for 3 seconds to exit. Next up, you have where you can change your language. They have a variety here, and navigation language. If you're learning a new language, this can actually be kind of fun. Time format, you can make it 12 or 24 hour. Energy display, so right here it says percentage. We can also make it mileage. I tend to prefer distance. It gives me a little better estimation, but some people really love energy. Distance, kilometers or miles. Temperature up here, centigrade or Fahrenheit. And your tire pressure in PSI or bar, depending on where you are in the world. Next up, we have driving. This is where a lot of fun stuff is going to happen. Acceleration, chill mode or sport. So putting it in chill, we'll put chill up here, and your acceleration won't be as abrupt, but nobody likes that. Sport mode all the way. Steering mode, you have 3 different ones here: comfort, standard, sport. Normally on my daily driving, I prefer comfort, but if I'm going to a track or anything, I definitely put it in sport. Really makes it a lot more firm. Regenerative braking, low or standard. If you're unfamiliar with regenerative braking, my suggestion would be low. And then once you kind of get used to it a little bit, go standard. Basically, every time you take your foot off of the accelerator, it is going to start the regenerative braking, and that will really slow you down or bring you to a stop. Some people think it might be a little bit abrupt, so definitely think about that and try it on both, really. Stopping mode, so creep is going to act like a normal ICE car that's automatic. It will slowly move when the pedal is released. So you release the brake pedal, you start creeping either forward or reverse, whatever you have it in. Rolling is free rolling, so it'll basically roll when you release the pedals. Hold maximizes range by extending regenerative braking to lower speeds and automatically blends in brakes to hold the vehicle at a stop. This is what I prefer. Until you get used to the acceleration and the pedal pressure and everything, my suggestion would be to keep it on creep, but hold if you want to maximize your range. Next up here we have off-road assist, and that is going to adjust traction control to optimize performance off-road. And then slip start if you're stuck in like snow, sand, mud, etc. That can really help get you out of that situation. Autopilot, another fun one. So here you can adjust your cruise distance, but you can also do that on the right scroll wheel by pressing it left or right. You can see it changes there. So all of this is actually available for us to adjust, but when you first pick up your car, you're gonna have a little steering wheel here with a ring around it, and that's all going to be gray. As that ring turns blue, which normally takes between 5 and 10 miles, then you will be able to add auto steer, navigate on autopilot, and anything like that. Until those cameras calibrate, which would be done once that blue ring is full, you won't be able to do this. And once that is full, it will pop up a message saying cameras calibrated and that you can add all this. So I love to do auto steer, which make sure you read all that. I have done this several times, so I'm very familiar with what it says. I'd like to do navigation on autopilot. I like to customize that and enable at the start of every trip. I like to do average, lane changes, require lane change confirmation, yes, and we'll go from there. Traffic light and stop sign control, I really enjoy seeing that. Full self-driving visualization preview, of course, and summon, we're gonna go ahead and enable that. Again though, read those before you hit yes. Ultimately, it is your responsibility to make sure that the car is acting in a safe manner, so be prepared to take by at any time. Here you can customize summon for your front bumper clearance, your summon max distance, your side clearance if you have a really tight garage. Go ahead and hit that. And require continuous press. I always like to do that so that when you release the button in the app, it will automatically stop. It's a nice safety precaution there. And then you can adjust standby mode. If you do a lot of summoning, you can go ahead and click on, but that will make sure your car doesn't really go to sleep much. I don't really summon that often, so I keep that off. Then down below we have a speed limit warning. So right here there'll be a little speed sign when you're driving. Keeping it off won't do anything. Display, when you go above that, it will enlarge and kind of tell you, hey, you're going faster than the speed limit. Chime will actually audibly notify you you're going above the speed limit. And then you have your speed limit here. When you do put the car in autopilot, you can have it offset. I tend to prefer a +5 offset, but it is really up to you, and you can go relative or absolute. I like to do relative, and it will go 5 over what the speed limit is. Next up, we have forward collision warning. I like to keep this on medium. It is basically how quickly it will notify you if it thinks you are going to get into a forward collision. So I like medium. Late means you might be a little too close to that front car before it notifies you. Early means it's going to go off more often than not. Lane departure warning. Warning will basically just audibly notify you and kind of shake the wheel a little bit. I like to do it on assist just to make sure it will gently nudge you back into your lane. Again, these are something I would suggest keeping on. Again, it is my suggestion though. Emergency lane departure avoidance, make sure that you're not drifting. Blind spot collision warning chime. Automatic emergency braking, and obstacle aware acceleration. So obstacle aware acceleration is great until you kind of learn the pedal feel, because if you press it, it's going to want to go. This will hopefully limit acceleration and apply the brakes if any obstacles are detected in front of your vehicle, and hopefully prevent you from running into your garage. That's why creep is such a nice mode to keep it in, because you can keep your foot above the brake and just slowly release the brake and you'll start creeping forward, and then once you're there, you just press the brake. Next up, we have navigation here. So here you have your navigation volume. Automatic navigation will automatically navigate you to home, work, or your next calendar event when you enter in the car. That's why you really want to enter in a home and work address under the navigation that we showed you earlier. Really a nice feature. Trip planner that will add stops at superchargers if charging is required to reach your destination. And online routing. This will reroute you if it's going to save you more than X amount of minutes. The max is 30 minutes and the minimum I believe is 1 minute. I normally keep mine on 2 minutes. And then here you can avoid ferries, tolls, and have the option to use HOV lanes if that is available in your state. Safety and security. This is a great one. Should you ever need to, you can go ahead and put the parking brake on. So here you can say we are in neutral, but we can do that. And now our car just went in park. But I would just use this at the end of the gear selector. Here you can power off should you ever need to. In an emergency, it is there. Speed limit mode, if someone is driving your car and you don't want them going faster than X amount of miles, you can do that here. You can also do that through the app. Next up, you have Sentry and Dash Cam mode. Now, I actually haven't even put in my SSD, but here you can enable that. I would definitely suggest enabling Sentry mode. And if you park in a garage, you can exclude things like your home address or even your work if you prefer and have cameras there. Another reason why you should add your home and work address. And then Dash Cam, it'll always be on once you install your SSD, but you can save clips on honk, which is actually really beneficial because normally if you honk, it's for a reason. So it's a good thing to save that clip. And then once you do plug in your SSD, you can go ahead and format your USB device right here. No longer do you have to put it on a computer and make your base files. It does it all for you. Then here you do have park assist chimes. So basically, if you are parking in like parallel or whatever, it will chime as you get close to stuff. Joe mode will reduce the volume of your car's chimes. If you have somebody in the back seat, children or whatever, that can be helpful. Security alarm, in case someone messes with your car, that is what you want on. It'll also send you notifications on your phone if it goes off. Pin to drive means when you get in the car, you will have to enter in a pin that you pre-select to be able to drive, even if you have the key with you. Another safety feature. If you have teens in the house, I know some of my friends have enabled that so that their teens, even if they get the key fob or the key card, they can't go anywhere without knowing that pin. Cabin overheat protection is nice, especially if you don't like your cabin getting too hot. I have it on, which means if the cabin gets over 105 degrees, if you click on that little eye, you can get a little bit more. So I have it on, which means that it will actually use the AC to keep the car that way. Now, if you have it on no AC, it will just use your fan and use that to exchange the air in the cabin to really keep it cooler. Having AC will use more battery than this, so I normally just say no AC. And I also just pre-cool the car from my app before I get in it if it is too warm outside. Allowing mobile access, you'll want that checked so that you can actually monitor the car from your phone. The nice thing with this is if someone wants to uncheck it, they have to enter in your email and password credentials for Tesla to disable it. So if someone steals your car, you should still be able to track it. A lot of people like this on because if teens, like their children, are actually driving their car, they can follow them and make sure they're not speeding or doing anything reckless and where they are supposed to be. Data sharing, this is something you should definitely read through in regards to sharing the data with Tesla. You can change your mind at any time, but it's something definitely you should read through. Now, at no point does any of this data identify you or your vehicle collected or shared during this process. It is them to help improve their product. So I do consent and hit yes on that. But again, it's really up to you as the owner. Next up, we have service. Should you ever need to change your wipers, do not pull them. They are recessed under your hood. Just hit this and you'll see those popped up. Then you can go ahead and change your wiper blades, which is one of the very few things you'll ever have to do in a Tesla. Wiper blades and windshield wiper fluid, that's basically it. And then when you are done, go ahead and hit that and they will countersink back under the hood. Never pull them up, you can damage your hood. Here you can actually adjust your headlights and re-level them or aim them differently if you would prefer. It does say headlights should only be adjusted by trained service technicians, so be careful with this. I've actually never had to do that. If you ever need to tow, it is right here. It will say car must be in park with the brake pedal pressed to enable transport, and always use a flatbed. You are not to do anything with some wheels on the ground and some off that can damage your car. If you ever need a tow, click this Tesla T, call Tesla Roadside Assistance, and they will make sure somebody comes out that knows what they're doing. Notifications are going to be all the notifications that you have here that have popped up here. So here you can see I was trying to enable cruise control, but it hadn't calibrated yet. Here I was moving the car with the door open and it was saying proceed with caution. So this is actually kind of nice because if you ever have an error code pop up and you try to contact Tesla service and you forgot, it's right here. You can actually look at your history and see exactly what code to tell them. Next up, factory reset. If you're ever selling the car, trading it in, do this. It will completely wipe the car and make it so that no identifying information can be traced back to you. Now, doing this, as you saw, you have to enter in your account credentials. Not anyone can do it. Next up, your owner's manual. A great feature here. All your owner's manual is right here. You can click through and find pretty much anything you want. And even the search functionality is there. So the last option here is software. Again, you get your vehicle, your Model Y, dual motor, your VIN, additional vehicle information, which all pop up, but I'm gonna have to blur some of that out because you have your cell IMEIV number, and that's going to be what gives you your cellular signal in your car, along with your Wi-Fi MAC address in case you want to add that to your approved list of Wi-Fi devices at home. That's where you would do that. And then it does talk about your full self-driving capability, if you have that or not, and your premium connectivity and when that would expire. Now we're just gonna go ahead and name this car right here. This is probably not gonna come to a huge surprise to everybody, but we're gonna name it Derek Y. And then it adjusts that right here. Again, you can change that whenever you want. Just go ahead and click it and change it to whatever you prefer. Here you can actually see what software update you are on and the release notes for that update. Here you can see what all that included. Now here we do have that new update that will bump us up to 2020.24.6.1 from 2020.20.12. So make sure you connect to Wi-Fi ASAP. And your software update preferences. So if you click the little eye, it'll tell you a little bit more about it and actually includes our car's name. How cool is that? But basically selecting advanced if you'd like to receive the newest software update as soon as they become available. Always want to do advanced in my opinion. And the last thing on here is your glove box button. That's basically it for the center screen of the Tesla Model Y and the Tesla Model 3. If you guys have any questions, definitely drop them down below. I'm more than happy to help, and hopefully that kind of served as your crash course for your brand new car or soon to be car. As always though, huge thanks to our channel sponsor Abstract Ocean. If you are looking to accessorize your Model S, X3, and now Model Y, much like this one, definitely check them out. All linked down below. Using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off of your first purchase. My two must-have accessories are definitely going to be that matte screen protector that you just saw us install at the beginning of this video. Really helps cut down on any glare, and it actually also has an oleophobic surface, so any fingerprints and all that will be super easy to clean off, as well as a center console wrap. Really will help just protect that piano gloss black material that Tesla uses. Shows fingerprints very, very easily, as well as dust, and can scratch. So the nice thing with their wraps is they come in a multitude of colors and different options for you to make your Tesla your own. If you guys are new here too, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. As always though, thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Go and click here to subscribe. Here for some other ones. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.